This video, which is part 2 of the Ashleigh Grimshaw documentary, answers why Grimshaw persevered for almost 2 decades before finally being signed by one of the big boys in MMA and much more. Support K1 via Patreon for £1 a month to produce more combat sports documentaries, and subscribe on YouTube.
Hadouken!
I just come back from American Top Team to fight Robbie Olivier. It was in Wembley Conference Centre, I want to say. Huge event. I lost that fight, unfortunately, but it opened my eyes and it made me look at it. I was like, hang on a second. If we're doing shows in arenas now, where's it going to be in the next 5-6 years? And I made a choice where I could just basically, I'm going to commit to making a career of this. And then being over at American Top Team, you learn how much money people were making, and you can make a living from it. It's just, are you ready to grind? Are you ready to have nothing to eventually get something?
I mean, Ash has obviously been knocking at the door for a long time. You know, he's been sort of like, he's been around, he's fought in a lot of promotions, he's been to a lot of gyms, trained with a lot of people, and he's built up a really good rapport for himself. You know, like he's got a good pedigree. You know, and I think, you know, realistically, you know, he has, you know, he's been one of these fighters. He's a real worker, and that's what I like about Ash. You know, he's been around for a long time, and he's stuck to his trade. He's kept in good shape, and he takes a fight. And you know, he just keeps knocking on that door all the time. So he's very worthy as you know, as being a good champion as a fight. You know, and I think he's unlucky not to get onto the UFC straight away. You know, in the last few years. You know.
How do you feel, mate? He's been alright.
He's been a true professional throughout his career. He's put a lot of work in. You know? If there's any man who's put the time in this sport, it's Ash. He's actually been fighting longer than I have. You know, obviously he's taken a long time, but to break through to like get a main event like he has now, massive opportunity for him. But he's been on that door. He's been on that door. Just keep chipping away, Like I say, he's put the work in.
I think you find nowadays people want instant gratification. It doesn't work that way. I get some guys saying, "Oh, actually, I'm gonna be a professional fighter." I just laugh at them. I said, "Do you know how long it took me to get my first major contract without the shows folding?" That's the most hilarious story. So I got signed to Super Fight League. I think that was my first 10K paycheck. I've made it. Show went bust. Hilarious. Then Art of War in China. Another maybe 14K paycheck. I'm like, that's not too bad. I got a no contest on that. Show spent $1 million on 2 shows, went bust. Then you had Phoenix. Man, another 15K paycheck for MMA. I'm like, it's easy money, I can't complain. The guy who runs it gets done for some form of money laundering or hiding money. I'm like, man, every time I'm getting signed, these shows are getting shut down. And that's why I try to explain to people. You have to be able to suck it up until the big show comes and gets you. And luckily they have now, so I'm all right.
I'm not a beginner. I just wiped out 4 dudes in a row. I've had 20 wins, 18 finishes. Someone's dying. I don't do decisions. I'm no good at them. Someone has to die.
There's very few fighters that get the opportunity to compete on those levels. Very few UK fighters. I think sometimes fighters think they're going to get there, but sometimes they don't. And I think, you know, with what's going on now and stuff like that, I think those opportunities are going to come around a lot more for UK fighters. You know, and so yeah, that's the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, not many people would stick it out for as long as you have for your Bellator.
Man, do you know what? My family aren't quitters. It's not built in us. I don't know how to quit. I don't know how to stop. That's it. All I know is grind until you get what you want. If you don't grind until you get what you want, you might as well not start in the first place. When I've decided that I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be a professional fighter and I'm gonna see this through to the end. Don't get me wrong. There have been times where I remember who beat me. Kamil Lebowski, I think his name was. I was on maybe a 7-fight win streak. I hadn't lost for 3 years. I just wiped out David Lee, UFC veteran. Clean, 1 shot, 1 kill, perfect fight. And I was like, man, I've won 7 in a row. I wiped out 2 guys who fought in the UFC. I'm the UFC MMA featherweight champion. I was the Cage Gladiators featherweight champion. Sign me. UFC had no interest. Did not give 2 shits. And then I got signed to fight Camille on Phoenix Fight Nights. Man, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even train. I'm just like, I'm gonna wipe this dude out like I wiped everyone else out. Huge mistake. He clearly took me very seriously and beat me up in about 2 minutes and knocked me out. And it's from then I was like, okay, let's have a revamp in this. Let's start again.
Sometimes there's a little bit of lady luck within the sport, you know, like same with myself when I was fighting, I kind of always fell over the final hurdle getting a title shot. Like sometimes Ashleigh, you know, will do well, really well, win loads of fights and then slip over at this final hurdle when he puts a lot of pressure on himself. As you do as a competitor, you want to put pressure on yourself to succeed. So sometimes, but this is a sport where there are more variables of winning and losing. It's very tough. It's like I say, it's a very tough sport, and sometimes it's all about opportunities, you know. Sometimes they come later in life, like this opportunity now, and obviously I don't think Ash is going to waste this opportunity at all. He's going to go in there and try and, you know, change people's opinions all the time.
I'll tell you another funny learning lesson. When I fought Mick Sinclair on Cage Gladiators, he missed weight. He never made 66 kilos before. He missed weight by 2 kg. And they got me to fight him because they offered me so much more money to keep the fight on. And in the end, he knocked me out because I just couldn't handle the power, how big he was. So I've always said, oh, cool, never fight a guy who misses weight, never underestimate anybody. And through those lessons, I just learned to stick out and grind. I could have quit then. I could have called it a day. I could have called it a day after Camille KO'd me and knocked out my 3-year unbeaten run. But I was like, no, I'm gonna keep grinding until I get there. And well, yeah, now I'm there, I can't complain.
Ash has been around for a very long time. He doesn't say no to a fight, you know. That's what probably hurt him a little bit early in his career. Sometimes where he didn't have the right sort of guidance, he'd take fights when he shouldn't be taking fights at the right or the wrong times, and you know, and it was misguided. But now he's at a stage where he's been around, done that, got the t-shirt. Sometimes you just need to roll the dice, you know, and like I say, Ash on his day could beat anyone in the world, and I honestly believe that, you know. So you just need to get the right Ash to turn up that night and shock the world.
I remember one time, I think you were training me at the time maybe.
Yeah.
You got kicked in the nuts in a Bama title fight.
That was Tom Duquesnoy. Yeah, it was strange. So I trained at Team Alpha Male for that fight, and he threw a 1-2 and landed, and I was like, oh, this guy's gonna die. He has 0 power. He has nothing. Like, I'm gonna kill him. There's nothing he can do. So I leg kicked him and nearly kicked him across the cage. I was like, he's weak as well. This is amazing. And he just socket kicked me in the nuts. So the pictures I've seen, you can't even see his foot. It's just shin. He broke my cup in half. I remember I got stretchered out, and the guy cut my shorts off. I'm naked now, and he went, oh my God, because of the bruising that come out of my testicles straight away. I was like, dude, are they still there? I had to go for an ultrasound. They thought I might have testicular torsion. It was horrid. Horrid.
That's why we're not supposed to wear plastic cups, isn't it?
No. Actually, no, it was a good one. It was one of the J-Co ones at the time, the whole compression thing, everything. It's all gone.
Well, you've got a 2-year-old now, you said.
And I've got a 12-year-old as well, so I'm all right. Yeah. Everything works.
Ashleigh on a 6-fight run, really going places again, and so up for this.
Yeah, he's one of the old school lot, man. You know, he is. He's one of the old school lot. There's very few guys now that are still competing and, you know, still fighting and stuff like that from around the time that he was fighting, you know. So yeah, it's definitely one of the old school lot.
It's a very antisocial, alienating ambition.
Yeah, no. It is, but I don't go out and party. I don't like it. I find it very boring. I'd happily train and sleep and go to bed by 10 p.m. if I could, every night. Unfortunately, I have a 2-year-old who doesn't let me do that.
Oh, obviously mine has changed for having kids. You know, obviously there's a little bit more pressure to provide from the family. But when I was competing and fighting, it's a very selfish sport. You have to put a lot into your sport. And same in life, in normal life, you get out what you put in. You know, like, talent is one thing, but you don't need talent to have a work ethic, be on time, and be committed to what you want to do. So you put the work in, you will succeed. You know?
Yeah, I live for the training. I love training. I love getting in shape, and I love fighting. I can't think of anything better than when the crowd boo me. Oh, I love it. Everyone expects me to listen, but everyone expects me to say when they cheer me, no, I love it when the crowd boo me. And I go in and just wreck that guy. I do my best work when I'm abroad, and I love it. And it's hard to beat a better buzz than that. It really is. That's why you stick at it. That's why you do it. And what's that saying? Every setback is a setup for a comeback. So yeah, I could have just sat down and gone, well, I've lost my win streak, I'll go back to plumbing. Or you dust yourself off, you go on holiday, you come back, you train, you beat someone else up. And that's what I did.
He's also not stupid. He's not a stupid person. He has an income without fighting as well, you know. So you're not just relying solely on fighting, but he's created an income and these PTs which help support. He's found a job that helps support his passion, you know. So some people can't even do what we do because they have to work at 9 to 5. So it's hard, but you know, obviously Ashley's done the right thing and he's found a job that helps support his dream.
You know, traveling, training, kind of hours you're in and out of gyms, traveling to different places. Kind of, how do you manage that kind of strain, demand on yourself with your family and training?
It is what it is. It's what I do. If you don't like it, leave.
But it's different here. Like, let's add some context. You mentioned earlier when you first started, just travel from one end of London to the other.
I still do that now.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. It's just there's more money involved. The grind hasn't changed in the slightest. Just the wage scheme. That's it. That's all that's changed.